Here is your start lift. Pretty simple challenge that awaits these athletes. Mitchell Hooper is going to get to go last. Maxim Boudreault will go first, so Hooper will know what he needs to do in order to hang on to that overall lead. And speaking of our overall leader, he spoke to Kiki Dixon prior to this event.
Mitch, you've got 2 events left. How often are you gaming the leaderboard?
Every event. You got to know what guys are capable of, and if you do, then you can reserve some energy and push where you need to. But from here on out, you know, it's going to be working as hard as I can. If I can pick up maximum points on the log, that's going to put me in a really good place for loading race. But these are 2 of my best events now, so we should be into a strong finish, but you can never count your chickens before they hatch.
And what are your expectations for this next event? Do you have a number in mind, or will you game it a bit?
Well, since I go last, I'll be able to see what everyone else does. You know, I think 8 would be a really good result here. I think 5 probably gets you in the top 3. If I'm in the top 3, I go into the last event with a lead. But I'd love to build my lead. It's at 4 right now. If that was 5 or 6, I'd be really comfortable going into the finish. So I'll try and do 1 more than the next guy. One thing to look out for is that if the log is in your lap, then you're allowed to complete the rep. Something that I haven't heard anyone talking about. So look for me to use that to my advantage as well.
All right, well, we'll see you out here shortly. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Maxim Boudreault is our first lifter here.
Maxim's a very good log lifter, so he's going to give us a good number, a good idea of what athletes are capable of. 10th place overall for Maxim so far today, but this is an event he can do very well at. And I say he can do very well at. We've got a number of athletes that I think are going to be very, very close on this event. 360-pound log, this is bread and butter for these guys. So they're going to need to be hitting high numbers. I think 7 to 10 reps is possible.
3 reps so far for Maxim Boudreault on that 360-pound implement. It's a little more than 163 kilos. Boudreault trying to get that crowd behind him at the concourse. Now, this was moved indoors for safety reasons because weather has put a ton of water out on the field. They wanted to make sure that the conditions were as ideal as possible for lifting this, and that's why it has been moved into the concourse. And like yesterday with the bull, what makes this cool is Boudreault is going for rep number 6. The fans are right there.
And he's going to be hearing that, and this will help him. You know, he's using the time well. You can see that step back between each rep. I think he might be done now, though. There we go. Just don't think Maxim's conditioning is quite where it needs to be yet. The strength's coming back. He's going to try 1 more rep. He's taking all the supportive gear off. You can see him breathing hard there. Has he got the power to do 1 more? Very, very good on the clean, and he does.
And he will get it inside that 1 minute and 30-second time cap for 7 good reps for Maxim Boudreault, acknowledging Trey Mitchell, who is here. Mitchell, who had to withdraw from the competition due to an injury he suffered yesterday. Good to see him still attending and cheering on his fellow competitors. What an effort for Maxim Boudreault. 7 good reps for him.
So interesting to see him take off all the supportive gear then and still come out and get that last rep. Maybe sometimes we rely a little too much on those things. Maxim, very good first athlete there.
Now let's talk keys of the event after we just watched Maxim Boudreault rip through those 7 reps.
So the obvious keys of this, you know, you need shoulder and tricep strength, strong legs, but the endurance is a factor. 90 seconds is a long time, and the athletes are going to have to make sure they strategically use that time to their advantage.
Let's take one more look at Maxim Boudreault's opening effort here.
Look how easy he cleaned the log up to the shoulders. I can promise you that's not an easy feat. He made it look much easier than most normal strongmen would. We have the best 10 in the world right now competing here.
This is an opportunity for Maxim Boudreault to score some big points. This is his 2nd invitational appearance. He was 7th last year, but his best finish was in that yoke log medley when he took 2nd place.
An interesting factor with the change of events is I think now it suits athletes a little bit slower, like Bobby Thompson or a Luke Stoltman, both huge log lifters. I think they're going to be happy with this change. Some of the athletes that are quicker, say a Kieliszkowski or a Mitch Hooper, who we've seen do exceptionally well on these combined events when it's about speed. Definitely an advantage for the likes of Luke Stoltman here. Huge log lifter. He was pushing the 1 rep max world record for a long time. Log is starting to get back in shape. You just look at him, you know, you look at those arms, those shoulders, big, powerful legs. He's built to press.
Has the experience, good overhead pressing power, and that weakness, the deadlift. We got that out of the way in event number 1 in the Tower of Power when he finished in 8th place. He's got a 4th and a 9th since then. So looking to work his way up the overall standings. 12 points overall. Tied for 7th with Tom Evans.
So you know 7 reps is the target to beat.
Here goes Luke Stoltman. 1 rep is no problem.
So powerful. Very, very efficient and clean. That's a nice rep there. Now what he needs to do, look, the technique is really good. He does this little jump back that just sometimes on the heavier weights leaves the log in front of him, but he's got so much power, very effective clean. It's endurance now. 90 seconds, he needs to keep going. And we saw on the roller coaster he started to fatigue as he went through. Needs to time this well. The power is there. That's 5 reps done already, looking strong. He's only at the 40-second mark.
Here's number 6 for Luke. And he will hit that. So now 1 away from tying Boudreaux's mark of 7, and that's nearly half the time left.
Luke has all the power in the world overhead. He just needs to kind of keep cleaning that, get it up to the shoulders, use those big, powerful legs, strong triceps. Look how easy he's still making it look. That's 7 reps. There we go. Come on, let's get behind him.
Getting the crowd behind him now. He has 20 seconds left. 7 reps, tied with Boudreault for the early lead. And this to put him in front outright. And that is good for Luke Stoltman.
Great lift there. Has he got time to attack it one more? As long as he lifts it to his lap, he gets to go for it. That's what Mitch Hooper was saying there in the interview with Kiki.
And he will get it, but unable to keep it there. But 8 good reps for Luke Stoltman. He takes the lead from Maxim Boudreault.
Luke looked very, very strong. Every single rep looked powerful. I mean, he blasts through the first 40 seconds. He was so good. Look how easy he makes these reps look. "90 seconds, it's a long time to be cleaning that log. You feel it on your chest. You suddenly start to struggle to breathe, and when you kind of can't breathe, panic kicks in. 8 reps is good.
Really didn't seem to have any sort of fatigue factor. Slowed a little bit, but not like we saw on the roller coaster where he really started to struggle late in that window.
Yeah, and it's a confidence thing. You know, Luke is one of the best log lifters on the planet. He's been up near the world record a number of times. I'd say right now he's maybe 5% off his best on the log, but you can see it starting to come back. That confidence is growing again. Technique looking really strong.
Tom Evans will be the next man to go. Evans coming in tied for 7th with Luke Stoltman. Best finish was a 6th place in the Tower of Power to kick off this competition.
And I will point out something for people watching back home. These athletes were expecting a slightly different overhead event. So it was meant to be the Fingal's finger into the log. So in terms of training, they were working on 5 repetitions. When they have to start pushing up to that 7 to 8, it's a different type of energy system that you're using. So it's the ability to adapt on the day. Now, Thomas Evans, he's a very good presser himself. He's a fast, powerful athlete. Deadlift is out the way. He doesn't need to worry about that. Log lift, he's done very well in contests this year.
30 seconds.
It's just a very, very strong lineup of log lifters. I have to say that, you know, everyone I'm looking at on this list, I think we could see a number of guys on the 7 to 8 mark.
Evans is set, and he will try to chase down Luke Stoltman's mark of 8 good reps here. Judge is ready. Evans is ready. We are underway.
Another athlete that you look at and you just think this man can press. Big, huge shoulders and arms. He's taking his time. Do we have the start or not?
We're going to reset.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what was happening there.
They had a an issue with the official start, so Evans will reset. Evans making his first appearance here at the Rogue Invitational. Saw him compete back at the Arnold Strongman Classic. Had a really good showing there.
5th place at the Arnolds this year for Thomas Evans. Currently in 7th here, 12 points. The log definitely an event he will favor, though.
And now Tom Evans is set again. First rep is good.
Just needs to make sure he fixes that lockout securely. Just kind of almost tried to guess the referee's down signal. That's a better second rep. Looked much, much more solid. Good solid 3rd rep as well. Feet are planted to the floor. Good positioning on the chest. Easy press.
Evans through 4, now 5 reps.
Got to the point he's not even using his legs now. Just strict pressing that 5th rep. Steps back, gets some air in. Plenty of time still to keep chipping away at Boudreaux's 7 and Stoltman's 8.
There's a couple opportunities left now, running out of time, but this to tie Boudreault.
That looked easier than the last rep. Has he got time for one more? Just trying to get that air in, clips the belt back in.
This to tie for the lead.
And he gets it.
Good for Evans.
8 repetitions for Thomas Evans, 8 repetitions for Luke Stoltman. It's taken everything out of him. Maxim Boudreault just behind those 2 on 7. Boy, Thomas Evans has given absolutely everything there. And he wants to know the number.
Let's take another look at it. And you're right, it looked like he flirted with a no rep there on that first one, but was able to lock it out and get credit for it. And after that, he got things dialed in.
Yeah, he got into a good rhythm after that. Just like I said at the start before, he's not trained for that many repetitions for this particular contest, expecting the event to be a little bit different. I think that's why we're seeing these guys gassing so much towards the end. 8 reps is a fantastic number on a 360-pound log. Doing the full reps where they have to clean every single rep from the floor, it becomes a full body movement as well, and that takes it out of your cardiovascular system just as much.
Coming up next is the American Nightmare, Bobby Thompson, and he has been waiting to get his hands on this thing.
This is an event that he will be looking forward to. You know, the last 2 events, the pulling and pushing events, not what he's about. He is about deadlifting, pressing movements, squatting. When it comes to power in the gym, this man is an absolute beast.
Thompson already has a first place finish under his belt. He tied Trey Mitchell for first in the Tower of Power with 8 good reps. But since then, he's gone 10th and then 8th. So looking to get back on track here in the max rep log lift.
Yeah, and he will feel confident about this one. Very, very good log lifter. We saw him perform exceptionally well on the log lift at the Arnold, which was even heavier than this one. Going to have to make sure that conditioning is in point, and that's an area he's improved a lot. His body weight is down on the past, feels just as strong but fitter than ever before.
Overhead pressing power, we all know how good he is at that. He can deadlift. We saw that in the Tower of Power. In the sled pull, that's out of the way.
The weakest events are done for Bobby now. Now he needs to kind of, you know, it's a tough task to get 9 reps is really what he's going to be looking at in his head. That's a lot of repetitions with a 360-pound log, but I certainly expect him to be pushing hard to try and beat the 8 reps that we've seen so far. And all these guys going out early are putting pressure on the leaders as well, because these are big numbers that we're seeing early on.
Here goes Bobby Thompson. Right back to work for rep number 2.
You often see the athletes struggle the most on the first rep, where they're kind of just getting a feel for the equipment, and then suddenly they get into a nice rhythm. 3 reps so far for Bobby. A little bit slower in terms of pace. Got a solid 4th rep. Only 30 seconds gone so far. Still got plenty of time to keep chipping away.
There's number 5, 2 reps away from Boudreault. And not even halfway through the allotted time. 6 is good for Bobby Thompson.
40 seconds to go. In his head, he has to be thinking, I need 8 reps minimum. Anything less is going to be disappointing for Bobby. That's 7 to equal with Maxim Boudreault. He needs one more. He's
Less
got
than
the time.
30 seconds to go. And now he's going to take a break. And again, if you just get it into your lap, you can complete the rep. This to tie for the lead.
Needs to use a leg drive.
And there it is for Bobby Thompson.
Gets a good lockout. He is happy with 8 reps as well.
And the crowd loves that. Bobby Thompson is done. He will tie Luke Stoltman and Tom Evans at 8 reps.
3 athletes so far on 8, and I can honestly see a couple more hitting 8 as well. If anyone out there can hit 9 from the remaining athletes, that is going to be massive in terms of the leaderboard.
Why is this guy so good with this thing?
Leverage. He's just got he's got shorter arms, which kind of just advantageous in this type of event. And he loves pressing. And when you love an event, you train it. You know, there's certain lifters out there, they're very good at one thing, and they just want to do it again and again. And Bobby loves a press. He's worked hard to bring other areas of his game to a high elite level. But he's been a huge log presser for a long, long time. The current American log lift record holder.
Now defending champion Alexi Novikov is getting set. Novikov currently sits in 5th place overall, but he's only 3 points behind the 3 men who are tied for 2nd, and he's 7 points back of Mitchell Hooper for the lead.
Now, Novikov, just an incredible all-round athlete, but a real strength for Novikov is the dumbbell. The Sear dumbbell we've seen at the Rogue before. This is a slightly different overhead. Requires a little bit more tricep and shoulder power, whereas the dumbbell, much more technical, much more leg drive orientated. And he's coming back from an elbow injury, so this event could be a factor for him this year. 7 reps is the minimum that we've seen so far. That is a tough target. A fully fit Novikov, I'd expect to hit it, but 90, 85% Novikov, this might be an issue. As you said earlier, he's only 3 points behind the chasing pack in 2nd place, but he really can't afford to drop points to them at this stage of the contest.
His best finish so far was a 4th in the Tower of Power. He took 7th in the Iron Bull, and then earlier today in the Roller Coaster, he was 5th.
The current champion do on the log lift. 360 pounds. Look at that, 8, 8, 8, and 7. That's an intimidating number to look at for the next athlete to go.
1 rep down for the defending Rogue Invitational champion.
Good solid rep. Not rushing, using the time well. And if you're talking to him before the contest, he's not really been hitting these kind of numbers for big reps in the gym. His training has been more rehab-based, building back that strength. He's looking solid here. It's 4 reps, no problem at all at the 40-second mark.
This is about where Bobby Thompson was at this point. Novikov's a little bit behind that pace, but still plenty of time. Now halfway through the 90-second window. Five good reps now for Alexi Novikov.
He's definitely got one more in him. It's whether he's got enough time to get 2 or 3.
30 seconds remain.
His pace has slowed down massively in the last 20 to 30 seconds. And look out.
He will gut through that, so 6 good for Alexi Novikov, 15 seconds to go.
He has time, but I'm just not sure that the tricep strength is quite there now to lock out another rep. This will be a lot of effort to just be in last place. He's left it there.
5 reps for Alexi Novikov. We'll take one more look at it in that effort. With that, he's going to have to smash the final event and get some help in order to repeat as champion.
He started off really well. Technique, as we'd expect from Novikov, looking really, really good. But just that brute strength isn't quite where he wants it to be yet. And you just saw the triceps start to struggle as we went through.
That was the last one that he just was able to lock out. And Alexi Novikov will step away with 5 good reps. He did make another attempt at the log, but as you said, he just didn't have enough time or strength left in the body to get
these
that
athletes
completed.
know, they pick it up, but they know if they're capable or not.
And now Mateusz Kieliszkowski, who's on a 2-event win streak, and he has a chance to win this one as well.
He's just a fantastic all-round performer. I mean, the amount of events he is elite at, just the elite of the elite. It's just that deadlift that holds him back. And we talk about the weakness. Even if he was a mid-table, in terms of points on the deadlift, he'd be winning almost every contest that he does. Still, even now, he's only 4 points behind the leader. And if he can get 9 reps here, he's going to put himself in contention to win this title. That's got to be the number that's in his head.
That explosive overhead power will serve him well here in this event. He's, like I said, he's got a 2-event win streak. We've seen this guy maul a log in the past.
Watch him to one motion. That's something you've seen a lot in the past, where he doesn't stop at the shoulders. He'll pull the log into the lap and just drive straight from the lap straight to lockout. He's one of the fitter athletes as well. It's a much quicker way of lifting, but it is very, very hard to do, especially as the log gets heavier and heavier.
And once again, we have moved this event into the concourse like the Iron Bull yesterday because of the moisture on the field. It was determined that this would be the best way to create the safest environment possible for these athletes to complete this event.
This is bread and butter for these strongmen, and that's why we're seeing such good numbers. It's an event they're very well trained in, experienced with.
Here goes Mateusz. This shouldn't stop long on his shoulders.
Okay, he didn't do what I would expect there, so that shows the confidence isn't quite back in the tricep yet. But still, very easy first rep. Just protecting himself a little bit on the clean there. Not as aggressive and explosive as we've seen in the past. Being very methodical, cleaning up to the shoulder, not rushing. That's 3 reps. His pace is slower than most of the leaders so far. But he might be just trying to make sure he uses that time limit effectively.
4th rep is good.
That was more explosive than the last one. That moved well.
And now 45 seconds remain for Mateusz Kieliszkowski through 4 good reps. Looking to tie Alexi Novikov at 5.
Another easy press. 30 seconds left.
Needs 3 to tie for the lead.
I just think he's going a little bit too slow. He's making the reps look comfortable. A little bit off balance there, but still pressing-wise, not too bad at all. He's really kind of limited himself in terms of numbers now. He's probably got about time to get 1 more rep.
This looks to be his last attempt.
And again,
There
easy
is
press.
7 for Kieliszkowski. He can get back on this. If he gets in his lap, he can do it. So he's right back on it.
He's timed that well.
This to tie, and he won't be able to get it.
He's going to be disappointed in himself with that, because that there potentially has put him out of contention for the whole competition, particularly with 3 athletes on the 8 reps. Knowing that Evan Singleton has to come, and he's a great log lifter. Mitch Hooper, also a very good log lifter. He won't be pleased with that.
And the technique looked great, but I think it was the pacing.
The pacing, I think that's just a confidence thing. Coming back from injuries, it does affect that mental side just as much as your physical. He was very, very slow and methodical, but every single press up until that last one moved well.
Mateusz Kieliszkowski with 7 good reps. And we still have
Tom Stoltman.
A couple people to go here. Tom Stoltman, we have Evan Singleton and Mitchell Hooper.
Yeah, and they will all be looking, all three of those will be looking at this, not worrying so much about the likes of Bobby Thompson and Luke Stoltman, but they will be looking at Kieliszkowski and thinking, I need to get ahead of that.
Crew doing a good job of getting the lifting area situated. And then Tom Stoltman will take his turn on that 360-pound log.
So Tom Stoltman's progress on the log over the last few years has been absolutely amazing. His shoulder power and pressing power in general just seems to improve all the time. We've seen Luke Stoltman manage to do 8 reps just last week. Tom Stoltman beat Luke and he beat Mitch on the log in contest. So he's got to be feeling confident going into this one.
He's great at lifting and moving odd objects. Has that overhead pressing power.
He's you know, one of his biggest strengths is when he's confident, he almost kind of believes he can do anything. And we're seeing he's just kind of building that confidence up event after event in this comp. That last, the arm over arm, you started to see that kind of twink in his eye that he believes he can win this. He knows if he can take the win on the log, he is right back in contention. The pressure will be on going into the final event later on this afternoon.
He's coming off a second place finish in the roller coaster, now trying to chase down his brother Luke. Those 8 reps. That is no problem
Easy
for Tom Stoltman and gets right back to work.
Very little leg drive, just a little pop, using those big triceps and shoulders just to look how easy he sends it overhead. And the pace is fast. 3 reps already at 20 seconds.
4 reps are good for Tom Stoltman. Halfway there with still a minute to go.
This is good. This is very, very impressive. You just think, not just the fact that he's lifting 360 pounds, but Tom has to lift it so much further than anyone else as well. And to be going at this pace, extremely impressive.
He's only halfway through his allotted time. He's at 7 reps. Now this to tie for the lead.
This is fantastic lifting.
8 reps good for Tom Stoltman. He gets 1 more. He's going to be in first place trying to get the crowd behind him. This for the outright lead, and he still has 30 seconds to go, and that is 9 for Tom Stoltman.
He's got to push for 1 more. Put the pressure on the next guys. He's got 15 seconds to do 1 more rep. Double figures on the 360-pound log. Make it happen. And that was easy as well.
Good, and that looked as good as the first.
You can see what he's showing now, why he is regarded as one of the absolute best in the world when he's in form. Tom Stoltman, 10 repetitions on the log lift. 10
reps for Tom Stoltman. 360 pounds, a little more than 163 kilos, and made that thing look like a tinker toy.
Unbelievable pressing. You think how high he's lifting each of those reps, just the speed he went through them. Anyone that makes an excuse that being tall makes it hard to press, look at Tom Stoltman. 10 repetitions, currently the leader in the log rep for max repetitions.
Looking to claim second place overall all by himself and maybe put some more pressure on Mitchell Hooper for the top spot. Evan Singleton and Hooper have yet to go, but this is even impressive and looks fast in slow motion.
Well, Evan and Mitch are going to be feeling the pressure because they know really to stay with Tom, they need 9 reps. If they tie that 8 reps, a lot of those athletes are going to split points. Tom is going to shoot himself up into the lead. So there is a huge amount of pressure now on the remaining 2 athletes.
Well, Evan Singleton will be the next man out. The T-Rex coming off back-to-back 3rd place finishes after a 7th place to start the competition in the Tower of Power. 20 points, one of 3 men with 20 points, along with Tom Stoltman and Mateusz Kieliszkowski.
Big difference with Evan between this year and previous years. I mean, you can see the intensity in his eyes. You really can. But in the past, he'd be screaming and shouting and burning up that energy. Right now, it is all focused on the event. Very fast and explosive, well-rounded athlete. Log lift is one of his favorite lifts. The weakness for this contest was the deadlift. That's out the way.
30 seconds.
Now it's time to put the pressure on and fight for a podium.
Tom Stoltman has thrown down the gauntlet with that 10-rep performance of Evan Singleton. Like you said, Laz, he's got to get 9 reps to...
In his head, he'll feel like, I need to beat that. Because he's going into this event tied with Tom. Tom's very, very good at loading sandbags. He's going to feel like he's got to put in a huge number on this.
Here goes Evan Singleton.
It wasn't the best first rep in the world, but can he kind of correct that, get himself into a good rhythm?
We saw that with the Tower of Power. We kind of struggled on that first rep, found the groove, and now he's done the same thing here with the log. He's through 2.
It's very common that we see that. They just kind of get a feel for that log on the first one. Suddenly, you can almost think they're struggling, and then they just get used to the implement that they're using. But he's nowhere near as quick as Tom was at this stage.
There's 4 for Evan Singleton. A little less than a minute to go. Five reps, good.
He's looking powerful. The standard has been so high on this log lifting competition that you're going to feel that pressure. But 8 reps is a huge, huge target to hit. That's got to be the first target for Evan. Then you worry about Tom.
I don't think he was given that one because he's still at 5. So that is a lot of effort. That's a costly no rep for Singleton.
Time's running out. He really needs this. No.
Not going to get it. So Singleton now stuck at 5. He's got 10 seconds left, and he's going to call it. But that's going to shake things up on top of the overall leaderboard.
Absolutely. I mean, Tom Stoltman is showing why he is one of the 2-time winner of the World's Strongest Man, 2nd place at Rogue Invitational 2021. He is putting the pressure on all the top athletes. Evan felt the pressure there. Kieliszkowski has felt the pressure.
That first rep wasn't as smooth as the second one. Really looked to kind of find his rhythm here on rep number 2.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I was expecting better from Evan. He's a good log lifter. But that's this happens in sport when athletes are putting in amazing performances, like we saw from Tom Stoltman there with that 10 reps. You feel it, and you maybe try a little bit too hard. You feel like you're going to kind of push your pace a little bit too much, and then it throws out what you're capable of. It's going to be interesting to see how Mitch Hooper copes, because he's going to be feeling that pressure as well. Tom Stoltman has done everything he needs to do.
And just couldn't lock out that last attempt. And now Mitchell Hooper will be the last man out. He's your overall leader with 24 points. Hasn't won an event, but hasn't finished lower than 4th. Extremely consistent so far here at the 2023 Rogue Invitational.
And I mean, Mitch will be thinking, I need to get 2nd place. He doesn't need to beat Tom because he has a few points lead. But what he can't do is tie on those athletes that have 8, because he will suddenly drop that lead very, very quickly. Very, very good tactician, very strong all over, explosive, powerful. No out the stones in this competition, which he'll be happy about. Probably the one event that's cost him the most points in the last year. Again, like I said earlier, Mitch lost to Tom on the log last weekend in a contest in Glasgow. He tied with Luke Stoltman, so in his head he'll be thinking 8's possible. But really, to keep that pressure on Tom, he needs to split the Stoltmans and get between them with 9 reps.
There's a chance of Moose. Out there, Mitchell Hooper's nickname.
A lot of people think they're booing him when they're saying that. He's chalking up everything, doesn't want any slippage.
To tie Tom Stoltman, he's going to take 11 to win this whole thing. We'll see where Mitchell Hooper winds up here. First rep is good. Right back to working rep number 2.
We know Mitch has the engine. He's a very fit athlete. strong as Tom overhead, so he's going to have to really use the time.
4 reps down. Here's 5. And that will count for Hooper. 1 minute remains. He's going to take a break.
It's a good start. 35 seconds. 5 reps so far. He knows what he needs to do. You'll feel those muscles burning up a little bit, so he just steps back, tries to get some air in, gets the 6th rep. Very, very important that he gets 2 more, really.
7 is good. Now he has a chance to tie for 2nd place right now with 8 good reps.
30 seconds left, and that's come away from him. He needs to make sure he keeps that lock tight into his throat.
And able to struggle through that. I believe he got credit for it. He does. Now tied with 3 other men for 8 reps. He has 15 seconds remaining.
Now we saw in an interview with Kiki, he said as long as he has the lock on his lap before the 1 minute 30 is up, he gets to go for it. So he's using that time to his advantage, waiting to the last minute. Now, has he got the power to do this?
This will be the final rep for Mitch Hooper. It will count if he gets it.
He's going to have to really hit this perfectly if he wants to get it.
And Hooper has
he
it.
gets the down signal.
Huge at the buzzer for Mitch Hooper to put him in 2nd place in the event.
9 repetitions. You can see how important that was for him. You don't often see that kind of reaction from Mitch Hooper. He knew that Tom Stoltman put every bit of pressure on him. If he only got 8 there, it wouldn't have been good enough, because Tom is exceptionally good at this last event that we have coming today.
Pacing that perfectly, and as you said, he told Kiki Dixon earlier, look for me to use that to my advantage as far as getting it into his lap and having some extra time, and he planned that out absolutely perfectly.
He's a very clever athlete. He uses everything to his advantage. Technically not as good as Tom on the press, not as strong in the shoulders, and Tom, you know, he was unbelievable with that 10 reps. But Mitch knew how important that 9th was. Used the clock to his advantage.
And it is not often where we see an athlete fail a rep on a log, able to re-rack it and then hit the 2nd one.
Absolutely. We've got an exciting finish, though. Tom Stoltman has dragged himself back into this contest. Wow.
10 reps for Tom Stoltman is going to win this thing. It'll be his first win of the competition. He'll earn 10 points for that. He will carve 1 point off of Mitchell Hooper's lead heading into the final event. But Mitchell Hooper picks up his his second place finish of the competition. But Tom Stoltman, he is your winner, and he is with Kiki Dixon.
Tom, you have had incredible performances with the log, not only at this competition, but in past competitions as well. What has that done for your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I was one of the best in the world at reps, and statically I needed to get it up, and I knew today that 10 reps would win, and I think 160 is very light for us, and I knew I have the conditioning and the power to get 10 reps, and that's what I did. I knew, other people would have dropped a few points, so I just concentrated on myself, got 10 reps, and I was happy with that. So.
This is obviously a heavy log, not the heaviest you've lifted, but for reps, there was that endurance element. What cues were you taking from your body to let you know, hey, I'm ready to rock and roll again?
I mean, let's just go all out for a minute and a half. That's all you're lifting for. So, the most I've ever done is 9 at 150, and that was a world record back a year or 2 ago. So just to do 10 at 160 is good. And, I've woken up a bit now. Unfortunately, we dropped one event, which I could have maybe caught the lead, but now I'm just trying to fight to see podium. But yeah, let's do this. So I'm happy now. So.
Thanks so much, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
10 massive reps for Tom Stoltman to pick up the event win. Mitchell Hooper, that says 8. We counted 9. We'll have to wait for the official result on that, because that could change some things.
That will change a lot. If they took a rep away, yeah, that's going to really give Tom that chance to get right back in to this competition and make it extremely close going into this last event.
Bobby Thompson, Tom Evans, and Luke Stoltman all got 8 reps as well. Mateusz Kieliszkowski ties Maxim Boudreault with 7. The one event remains in the Strongman competition here. For all the results and to keep up to date on everything going on with the Rogue Invitational, you can go to roguefitness.com/invitational. Stay with us, everybody. Action continues here on day 3 of the 2023 Rogue Invitational from Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. The Duel 3 is ahead.